So guys, in our previous video, we have already seen that how you can proceed and download the entire Anaconda distribution. Along with that, do the installation, and we have already done that in our previous video. And we could also see that I've also spoken about the IDE that we are going to use, like Jupyter Notebook, Jupyter Lab, and VS Code. So I'd also shown you how you can launch the VS Code just by using the command that is code dot. Now in this video, if you remember, like I've already given this entire course materials inside this GitHub link. And in this video, what I'm actually going to do is that I'm going to show you how you can start with this particular course materials and how you can start practicing. There are two things that I'm going to discuss over here is that using VS Code, how we can create an environment, which is important. Because whenever we work with any data science project, it is necessary that we really need to create a specific environment so that whatever are the packages that is compatible to that particular environment, only that part only will be installing. So this entire is the repository. What you can actually do, you can fork the repository, or you can also download the zip if you want to directly do it. Okay. So let's say that this is my entire code file. Okay. And from here, what I'm actually going to do is that I'm going to start my VS Code. So I'll go ahead and right click over here and just open with VS Code, open with code over here. Once I do this, then what it is going to do, it is going to make this complete machine learning folder as a project, and it is going to open this. Okay. And one more thing that I forgot to tell you is that this Jupyter Notebook will also be available in the VS Code. So that is the reason why I'm focusing on showing you how you can start with VS Code itself, right? So you don't have to have a different dependency in all these particular tools. So let's say that this is my entire code materials, and obviously how you can download it, you can just go over here and download this particular zip file. This link is already given in the course, Udemy course itself, in probably in the second section. And all you have to do is that in order to open it, just go ahead, right click and press open with code, right? Or click on open with code. And this is your entire code materials that is there. And whenever you go with respect to any materials, if there is no PDF file, let's say there is a logistic regression over here and there is practical. So if I open this, you'll be able to see that the entire Jupyter Notebook gets opened here itself. Okay. So this entire code material, you can open it like this and you can start practicing it. If you are starting from basics, then what you can do is that you can create another folder. Let's say I go over here, I open my command prompt. Okay, sorry. I go over here, I open my command prompt. Now inside the command prompt, let's say E is my location. I write CD code. Okay, so code is one folder that I have created. And let's say that I want to start my coding from this specific folder itself, right? So I will go ahead and write code dot. So two ways. One is just right click from the folder location and go ahead and click on open with code. Otherwise, go to that particular folder location or write code dot. Okay. So once I write this, so here is your entire VS Code. Okay. And here you can probably see that I have not started anything. So this is completely empty, and this is where you have the entire code. Okay. So let me first of all start with this empty file, empty project. Okay. To proceed with, the first step is that I will go ahead and create an environment. Okay. So let me just go ahead and open command prompt. So in this VS Code, you have different terminals like PowerShell, Git Bash, command prompt. Git Bash and PowerShell gives you an experience with respect to running the commands in a Linux environment. But since I'm going to focus more on the Windows, I will go ahead and click on command prompt. Now over here, you'll be able to see that the first step that we are probably going to do, and this is a complete empty repository as I already showed you. Now with respect to this particular empty repository, what I'm actually going to do is that first of all, I'm going to create an environment. For any projects that you probably work, it is always a good practice that you create a separate environment so that you can segregate the packages, the libraries in a very easy way with respect to the further updates that are probably coming in those packages. So in order to create an environment, if you have already installed Anaconda, we are going to use Conda package. So it will be Conda create -p, okay, VNV. This is my environment name. And here I'm going to use my Python version. Let's say the Python version that I'm going to use is 3.10. Right now, if I probably say right now, the recent version of Python is 3.12. But with respect to the entire code that we are going to see in this particular course, everything will be executable with the help of 3.10 library. Okay. So this is the first thing. I will go ahead and install this. So what it is going to do is that it is going to create a new environment. Okay. Now it is asking me go ahead and proceed with the installation of the new environment or creation of the new environment. So here you will be able to see my VENV environment is created. So this is the default environment I will be using for executing my entire course materials. Okay. So let's say that I'm going to go ahead with linear regression or logistic regression. I'll be using this specific environment. I will be starting this. Now, one more thing that I really want to talk about is requirements.txt. Okay. And what is this requirement.txt? Now, see, understand one thing, guys. If you probably consider this entire course, right, we are going to use pip install. Let's say I go ahead and write pip install and sklearn. So we are going to use this library a lot. Okay, scikit-learn, this package a lot. If you want to install this particular library, all you have to do is that either you can directly go ahead and install it in the Jupyter notebook, or a better way is that I will probably copy this. Okay, I will go to my requirement.txt and let's say I go ahead and write sklearn over here. So sklearn is the library that I'm going to use. Sorry, it should be scikit-learn. So I will copy this. Okay, and let's say I'm pasting it over here. Okay, so this is the common library that we are going to use in our machine learning course itself, right? And in NLP, we will be installing some other libraries and all. Okay, now let's say this scikit-learn is basically there, right? Any packages that I'm going to use in this specific course, I can go ahead and write in this requirement.txt and I can install this. So first of all, what I need to do over here, since I have already created my environment, I will go ahead and activate that environment. Let's say in order to activate it, I will write conda activate and that particular folder location, that is VENV, right? Now, as soon as you write this command, this basically means that this VENV environment has got activated. Now, further installation of any packages will basically get installed in this package, in this environment. So now, if I want to probably go ahead and install pip install scikit-learn, okay, then I will go ahead and add pip install -r requirement.txt, because this requirement.txt has this scikit-learn package. Okay, so once I probably execute this, here you will be able to see that this installation will happen. So further going ahead, any packages that you require, let's say I want NLTK package and all, I can keep on writing away, I can keep on installing, and I will use this same environment to execute any files. Okay. Now this is just a basic information of just making you understand how to create an environment, how to activate an environment. Now the next thing that I am actually going to do, I will go ahead and open a command prompt. Okay. Now see, if I want to create any file, let's say I want to work with linear regression. Okay. And let's say I want the two types of file that we specifically consider or we basically use whenever we are creating a project. One is IPYNB. Okay. So this is one file, IPYNB file, that we specifically use. This is also called as a Jupyter notebook file, and the other file is basically the py file. So let's say that I go ahead and write test.py file. So with respect to test.py, you can go ahead and write any code like this, like import pandas, import numpy as np, whatever thing you specifically want to write, you can go ahead and write it. Okay, and you can start writing your code, and in order to execute it, let's say that I go ahead and write print what is 1 plus 1. Okay, 1 plus 1. Okay, and I know that this pandas and numpy is already present in my VENV. In order to execute this test.py, I will go ahead and write python test.py. Okay, so here you can see no module pandas. Okay, let me do one thing. Since pandas is not installed in VENV, I will just go ahead and execute this. Right now, if this is not installed, all you can do is that if you want to use pandas, I will go ahead and copy this. I will paste it over here. Okay, I will go ahead and write again pip install -r requirement.txt. Then automatically this pandas will also get installed. But just to run this test.py, you need to just write python test.py. Now you see I am getting the output as 2. Okay. Now this is one way. Okay. The other way is just by using this Jupyter notebook file. Okay. Now if you want to run Jupyter notebook file in your VS Code, okay, so there are two packages which you need to install. Okay. And this is really much compulsory. The first thing is that I will go ahead and write pip install IPyKernel. Okay, this is a package which will be responsible in providing a specific kernel to a Jupyter notebook file. Okay. So if I go ahead and write pip install ipykernel, I will go ahead and press enter. Okay. Let's say if I'm going to execute this right now. Okay. Now see what is the error we will get. Okay. It will be detecting the kernels and it will not execute, in short. So for a Jupyter notebook file, I need to definitely install ipykernel first of all, right? So this is what I really require, ipykernel. So that ipykernel will get executed over here, and it will probably take some amount of time based on your internet speed and all. Okay. Now, once I probably go ahead and install this ipykernel, I will go ahead and click on this detecting kernels. And I will select the Python environment which I have created locally. So here you can see I have this Python 3.10 as my environment variable. Okay. Now let me just go ahead and run this +. Before it was not running. Now you can see, now you can start running any code inside this ipynb file. Now the next thing is that if you're not comfortable in providing packages in requirement.txt, you can also do the installation over here directly. Let's say that I want to go ahead with pandas. So I'll just go ahead and write pip install pandas. So once I execute this, don't worry about this red mark because this will probably it is showing as a syntax error, but it is not. But if I just go ahead and write this, you will be able to see that the installation will take place by using this Jupyter notebook. But again, I would suggest this is not a very good way. It is always better that you go ahead and update in requirement.txt and go ahead and add pip install -r requirement.txt. Now you can see all the requirement.txt has got, this pandas has got installed. So this is another way. Again, not a good way, but if you are comfortable with this, you can also go ahead with this. Now, this entire code, you can go ahead and practice it. So now you can see if I probably go and open my VS Code over here with all my code files, it is in folder wise, right? You keep this as a reference and you open another VS Code over here. Make sure that you also create folder by folder and start executing it. Okay. So I hope you were able to understand about VS Code. I showed you how to create an environment. I showed you how you can enable the Jupyter notebook and many more things. So yes, this was it from my side. As we go ahead, see guys, this entire course has probably taken me around 6 months to record. So any new updates that will probably be coming up and which will be required, I will make sure that I'll update in the further videos. But one thing is that most of my solutions, most of my course lectures is basically taken in Jupyter notebook, and later we moved into VS Code where we have developed end-to-end solutions. So it is always good that you know both the techniques, and in industries you'll definitely be knowing both of them. Okay. So yes, this was it. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you. Take care.